I'm here to talk nonsense as usual. I didn't do any research or know much. I'm just giving my view on this as a layman. Should I say that? Yeah, as a layman. So there's a thing that was going around that sometimes I also ask myself, are Indian Asians? If you asked me, I even did geography like at the advanced level. So if you go into it geographically, then yes, it is located on the Asian continent. Therefore, they are part of the Asian, whatever you want to call it. But when you like dive deeper into it, then there are things that will separate it. But that doesn't change the fact that I think they are Asians. That's if you ask me the question, I'd be like, yeah, but it's complicated still. It's a complicated thing. For example, I'm going to give an example of like, check this out. If I was walking down the street, let me say in Uganda, and then phone someone and tell them, you know what, I'm telling them a story, and I'm like, I was coming to see you, then I met this Asian guy. If I tell them to describe what they think the person looked like, I'm sure like 99.9%, if not 100%, people will describe guys that look more like the guys from like East Asia, if I do say so myself, because that's just what it is. Like no one is going to sit down and say like I met an Asian and then they're going to describe Priyanka Chopra like oh big eyes, a bit of like a tan skin. No, no, no. Chances are very low that anyone will describe someone like that. They describe someone either looking like Jet Li or Jack Chan or something like that. Like you know what I mean? Like features from more of the East Asians generally. And honestly speaking, in Africa, like if I asked Africans, I'm actually going to try doing that street interview. If I went out and asked people, are Indian Asians? I feel like Ugandans or Africans in general wouldn't be too bothered by that because they like to lump a lot of things in one. People are tired. These things of like, oh, I want to have coffee, tea, cocoa, drinking chocolate. All those are teas. Like people, anyone will just say tea. No one's gonna be like coffee. People normally will just say tea. Or like if it comes to like soda, no one's gonna be like going to types. Most people will be like Coke or Pepsi at most if they have helped you. Toothpaste. No one says toothpaste. Every toothpaste is Colgate. Like people are just that simple in a way that these things will not overbother them. So when it comes to, let me give you some prefixes like of the Ugandan language. You know how we have races: white, black, Asian, whatever. For the white race, we have a Luganda word that is muzungu. You see a white person, you call them muzungu. There's there's no word for Asian. Like Asian, that I've never had that. It's not common. Any person, like every Asian is lumped into Chinese, being Chinese, honestly speaking. You're going to see some people are going to say some Asian looking person, they're going to say Muchina. And that's why I go to tell you, like, if you ask Ugandans who they think an Asian is, they're going to describe someone who is the typical Chinese look. You know what I mean? So, anyone, why you're from Korea, Japan, what you're Muchina. Asia race is Muchina. You're Muchina. You know what I mean? Like, that's the simplicity of, yeah, people wouldn't be bothered much. Then like if they see someone looking like an Indian, they will not call that person Muchina. That's what I'm trying to say. They'll call him Muyindi because he looks like an Indian. You get it's I don't know if that also makes this even more complicated because like Muyindi is its own thing. Because they do not look like but China. You know what I mean? There's that difference and stuff like. For example, I'm a fan of BTS in Uganda and I keep posting BTS stuff, but I also enjoy a lot of Asian culture, mainly like I would say East Asian culture, also Southeast Asian culture, like from like the Chinese, Japanese, Thailand to like the Filipinos, Myanmar, and so on and so forth, Singapore. So sometimes I go post something, maybe I post like some Japanese stuff or like Alice in Borderland stuff like that, or I'm going to post like something from Thailand, or I'm going to post from, and then someone's like, oh, you love your China, you like your Chinese people, you like Chinese so much, and I'm like, I've literally listed like 5 different countries and they're all about China. Like there is that. And it's that even then they're hearing languages, like now it's hard for people to even distinguish the languages between Chinese, Japanese, Korean. They will know like, oh, konnichiwa or ni hao or annyeonghaseyo or sorry ka is different, but everything they think is sha 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 sha. That's what I'm saying. Like it's too simple. For people are too simple, yeah, to be bothered by Indians, Asians, what? They are Asians, they are Indians, whatever, they are still people. Doc, this reminds me of that saga that had Africans going for some time. Okay, these other Africans, not from the north, where like the Moroccan coach was cool with us that they're representing the African continent and stuff like that. But some of the players was claiming Moroccans are not like Africans. And everyone was like, where did you learn your geography from? Have you looked at the map? Where is it located? You which what league, what was it, FIFA? I don't know which qualifiers did you play to qualify for the World Cup you're playing in. Wasn't it the Africa Cup? Like, yes, you do not look anything. Because if anyone said African, the first thing, if you went out and told an Asian, I passed by and saw an African, tell them to describe what they think of an African. First of all, number one, they're going to be black. Chances, like 100%, the first thing they're going to say their skin color is black. But remember, not all Africans are black. So that's where this thing also comes in from. Like, Indians don't look like typical Asians, but they're still Asians. Moroccans, Egyptians, these guys from Libya, Tunisia, all those people do not look anything like a typical African would, like me. But they are still Africans, even though when you look at them, they can easily fit into the Middle East. Some of them could easily fit in Europe, no problem, because some of them are that white. But they are still Africans regardless. So that's what I'm saying. Indians might not look anything like the typical Asian, but they are still Asians. Yes, they are Indians before Asians, but they are still Asians, even though they have features that are similar to maybe Middle East. But let me remind you of something. India as well is diverse. There are people who look like Chinese in there. There are people who look white. White. Rohan here, literally a lot of people call him Muzungu because he looks white, but he's actually Indian. No one ever looks at him and says Muyindi. Everyone says Muzungu because he looks white, but he's Indian. They're going to find that those that are typical, that look like, like the Middle Easterners. So it's also wide. That's why I'm like, even though you come to Uganda, we even have Indians in Uganda, and they are Ugandan at this point. So I don't know. I feel like just like Moroccans are from North Africa, in Africa, they are Africans, regardless of not looking anything like the typical African. Indians are Indians, yes. South Asians? Yes, but still Asians in the end. What do you think in the comment section? I'm your girl Rose Basemera. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Bye.